Hi, I'm Dongju Son, and this is Crash Course US... What, Elena? Hi, I'm Dongju Son, and this is not Crash Course US History. But today we're still going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, bad hairstyles. Just kidding, but we will be talking about something very similar, the 2016 presidential elections. Mr. Son, is there any presidential candidate that you support? Know me from the past. There is no one that I don't support. I am completely politically neutral. Before we can understand the controversial positions of these candidates, we first have to break down the political parties and the issues being debated. If you remember, almost a year ago on June 17, 2015, a self-proclaimed white supremacist named Dylan Roof attacked a black church in Charleston, South Carolina, killing at least 8 churchgoers. This reintroduced national debate on gun reform just as candidates began announcing their campaigns. Most people on the right wanted to loosen gun control regulations, and Jeb Bush stated in early 2016, I think we need to focus on what the bigger issue is. It isn't law-abiding gun owners. What we should focus on is the violence in our communities. In contrast, the Democratic Party, which at one point consisted of Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and everyone who wasn't Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton, O'Malley, fought for increased gun control, which some have argued is a violation of the Second Amendment. Another sensitive issue at hand is the war on terror and the Syrian refugee crisis. After the terrorist attacks on Paris, Brussels, and San Bernardino, many Americans are extremely concerned with the flow of refugees from Syria to the United States, especially due to their Muslim backgrounds. And this concern has often manifested itself in the forms of calls for increased border control and surveillance of the American Muslim population. On one side of the spectrum, Donald Trump calls for the tagging of all Muslims and all temporarily halting of Muslim immigration into the United States before the crisis is resolved. Hillary and Bernie are more on the liberal side and call for limited border control.
So over the past couple of months, the 2016 election has been a tight race for candidates in both parties. And by a tight race, I mean a race between Usain Bolt and a very, very, very slow turtle. For the Republican candidates, Donald Trump has been the leading candidate for the caucuses and primaries. Other Republican candidates include... Wait, what, Elena? They all dropped out? How is this possible? Okay then, news update. All the other Republican candidates, including Cruz and Kasich, have dropped from the race. Man, I was really counting on you, Kasich. Something else that we should touch on is big business. Despite job growth improving and falling unemployment rates under Obama, Democrats and Republicans alike are both weary about the government. It is probably the only thing that they'll ever agree on. Sanders in particular has targeted the top 1% of the US economy for perpetuating issues of wealth inequality. He says, "We need a growing middle class, not one that has been disappearing for 40 years. It's time to make our government work for all of us, not just the 1%. Let us now migrate to the chair of the mystery document.
That's weird. Anyways, it's time for the mystery document. The rules here are simple. I guess the author of the mystery document. I'm either right or I get shocked by the shock pen. And yes, people, it's real for the bajillionth time. Alright, let's see what we got here. Our politicians are stupid, and the Mexican government is much smarter, much sharper, much more cunning. And they send the bad ones over because they don't want to pay for them. They don't want to take care of them. Why should they when the stupid leaders of the United States will do it for them? Finally, Elena, you gave me a no-brainer. It's Donald Trump. So the wall idea may sound silly because, tunnels are a thing, but it reflects the enormous controversy currently surrounding immigration control, which is one of Trump's major focuses. So as Trump would say, make America great again. Roll in the Libertas. Oh my god, that Libertage moved me a lot. Elena, hand me the flag. America! In this election alone in particular, we've seen 2 political parties that are increasingly polarized and arising against the establishment mentality that has led to both the ascension of Trump as the frontrunner of his party and the popularity of the grassroots candidate Bernie Sanders. And whether or not you agree with Trump, one thing is true. He's changed the way we talk about politics. And while Hillary is on paper one of the strongest candidates with financial backing and experience, the rise of anti-establishment is becoming more prevalent. So whoever wins the election this year, you can be sure of one thing. This election will have transformed the way we see elections in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Crash Course US History is produced and directed by Shao. Our script supervisor is Eric Yan. This show is assisted by my high school history teacher, Miss Carrie Finney. Thank you for watching Crash Course, and if you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe. As we say in my hometown, you are AP students, you know this material, and you will be successful. Good luck. That libertage moved me a lot.
No. You have to be more patriotic.
Okay.
Elena, throw me the flag.
Okay.
Wait, is it rude to
No.
throw the flag?
These videos were later found to be altered, but at the point, candidates on the right usually said, at that point the videos had garnered. Candidates on the right, usually said to be pro-life, supported bills that would defund Planned Parenthood. To be pro-life, supported. Usually said to be pro-life.
Why is it that sentence messed up?
I don't know why pro-life sounds so funny to me. These videos were later found to all be altered.
Wait, I can't do this anymore. I need to sit down. My stomach hurts.
Candidates on the right, usually said to be pro-life. Candidates on the right. Candidates on the right, usually said to be pro-life. On the right, usually said to be. At that point, the videos had garnered wide media attention. Candidates on the right. Maybe Dongju should do this part.